The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Game Podcast Network is brought to you by Running Fantasy. Get the ones that are deposit match. Sign by Running Fantasy. Get the promo code MLB SGPN. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. It is currently Tuesday, July 8th, around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm Roast Up the Sky Show. Once again, joined by Dylan Rockford together to break down the games here for Wednesday. Dylan, I see you're back in your studio. How was your trip? Did you watch the movie?
No. It's funny that you brought it up. I got 3 DMs. I want to actually read one to you. It was funny. They go, Goodwill Hunting, ... Top 3 movie of all time. Wouldn't even argue with anybody who had it won. And everybody's saying I need to watch it. So it is on my to-do list this week. But vacation was good. It's gearing up for a busy end of the summer. We got football coming up in almost over less than 2 months now. We got football at the end of the month. The Hall of Fame game is at the end of the month. But vacation was good. I got some tan. It's just unfortunate. We're back to reality now, back home.
Yep, up there goes gravity. But overall, exactly. Once again, not a bad overall trip for you. How were the oysters?
Oysters were amazing. Had some clams too. Had some lobster. Are you a big seafood guy?
Not really. I've had occasionally, but not that often. It's not really for me. But nothing against it. It's just not really my cup of tea.
I'll say this. It's much better when you go to states like Maryland or Rhode Island or like places by the water. But yeah, by us in New York, it's not that good.
So just to ask, though, do you enjoy actually cracking it open yourself, or you preferred all of that already done for you?
No, doing the whole process is more enjoyable. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Are you the same way with peanuts? You like to actually crack the shell and then eat it, or it's different for actual nuts?
I think it's different for actual nuts. I'm not a big peanut guy, if I'm being honest.
But I'm saying it's a similar idea. Would you rather just have it ready for you like pistachios, or would you rather actually break it open yourself?
So I'd rather break it open myself.
Okay, there we go.
How was your weekend, or what'd you do?
Nothing much. I just hung out. A friend has the new PGA golf game.
Oh, nice.
So I actually played a little bit of it. I'm not a video game guy. I used to be a very big video game guy, not anymore. Fun time.
What system?
Xbox.
Oh, nice. I was always a PlayStation guy.
I was PlayStation 1 and 2. Then my friends at Xboxes, and I switched for the 360.
I feel like the PlayStation 2 is the best console ever.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with you on that.
So but that's good. Glad winning some bets. Yo, I caught a little of Wimbledon on the way driving home today. Crazy. What's the guy? The Spaniard guy, number 2?
Alcaraz kicked his ass.
Oh my God, he dominated.
He kicked his ass, which I called on the show because I don't think Nori's that good. So that's kind of how it went. But either way,
who's gonna win it?
Probably Alcaraz, 2-time defending champion.
What about Djokovic? Is he still
Djokovic there? Actually has a decent draw now because Sinner's injured. He hurt his elbow.
Oh,
so it's a decent path for Djokovic now, but we'll see. Alcaraz, though, beat Djokovic in the final 2 straight years. So I would still take Alcaraz beating him again, but Joker looks good.
How about the number 1 girl? She had a tough matchup today, but she won.
Sabalenka won. I still don't fully trust her. She seems to choke in big spots still as number 1, but good win. She survived.
What is she? American?
No, she's Belarusian.
Belarusian.
That's why they don't show her flag.
That's what I was wondering. I was out talking to my girlfriend. I was like, "Where is she from? They don't have a flag."
Is that in Russia? They still don't show it because of the Ukraine thing that happened 2 years ago. I don't really know what the point is. Like, she approves of what they're doing in her country. Like, what's that supposed to? Like, what's that supposed to do? Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, we're not going to show the flag. So that, of course, shows that. We're not supporting what does that have to do with anything?
Anything. It's so irrelevant.
Anything at all. No, she's from a country. You can't erase where the country is. Like, I don't know what that means. But she's from Belarus. And she's been number 1 for a little while. Because Swiatek's still alive, but she's not played well for the last year.
Is Coco Gauff still in?
She lost in the first round. Terrible grass player.
Wow.
Awful grass player. So she'll probably bounce back in the U.S. Open, but she's not good on grass. Okay. But either way, we still have another American, though. We have Anisimova, who made the semis. Good for her.
Is she good?
She was very good, ended up taking a break for mental reasons, and then came back, and she's actually been solid. So we'll see how she does as the American hope for the event left. But anyway, before we get into any of the actual games for Wednesday, a reminder that you can check out the podcast on the SGPN feed for Spotify or Apple completely free, or check out the actual app on the App Store. The SGPN app's completely free, so get wherever you do get your apps, and also check out the feed wherever you do get your podcasts. Anyway, moving on to the first game on the card here for Wednesday. You have the Mets taking on the Orioles. Now, for this one, you have – actually, no, I might have accidentally mixed up the order here. You have the Rays against the Tigers as the first game here. For this one, you have Littell against Olsen. For the money line, you have the Tigers minus 148 or so. You have the Rays at plus 124 or plus 130 even in some spots. For the over-under, I see 8. Now, the Rays have been slumping a bit lately, and the Tigers, are really good. I'll ask you, though, for Olsen and Littell, similar numbers. Olsen's been better, though, 2.89 ERA. I like Detroit in this game. I think Littell pitches a bit too much contact here. They can get into some trouble. Give me Olsen and the Rays here. Give me Olsen to beat the Rays at around minus 140 and change.
Yeah, I like the over, actually. I made my total a solid 9. I see 8s out there at minus 105, minus 110. I like that. I think both offenses have been really solid lately. Tigers, they're averaging around 4.87 runs per game at home, while the Rays, they're a little better on the road than they are at home, 4.95 runs per game on the road for them. So, these two teams, they seem like they're in high-scoring matches every time they play. 3 of the 4 meetings between them two have gone way over this total. So, 2 top 10 offenses who are seeing the ball well. Really don't trust Littell, like to your point, does have a lot of hard contact. So I think we'll see some runs here. So I agree on the Tigers, and I like the over as well.
Yeah, I think, once again, the over is an interesting option with a pretty low total with these pitchers. But I think I'd rather go with Detroit for this home game. Moving on to the next game, you have the Dodgers taking on the Brewers. You have Glasnow against Quintana. For this one, Dodgers minus 165, Brewers are plus 140. Glasnow has barely pitched this season because he's been injured. Quintana's been really good. Glasnow, though, 1-0, 4.5 ERA. Quintana, 6-3, 3.44 ERA. And for the money line, you have the Dodgers minus 160. You have the Brewers at plus 135. Over-unders at 8.5. I find the money line extremely surprising to me because I want Milwaukee. The Dodgers have been horrible lately. They've lost, 4 in a row? They got buried in the first game of the series. I gave out the Dodgers to lose in the last episode as I swept the podcast. Give me the Brewers again. They're good at home. Glasnow has barely pitched this season. Quintana, he finds ways to survive, and he's been effective this season. Give me the Brewers at plus 125 or so. I find this price very, very offensive, honestly, at 160. Plus 135, actually, for Milwaukee feels very generous. I'll go Milwaukee on the money.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I saw plus 132, plus 135. Give me the home puppy. I only made the Dodgers a minus 120 favorite. There's no way the Dodgers should be this big of a favorite in Tyler Glasnow's first start in over 2 months, 2.5 months. He was on the 60-day DL or IL, excuse me. So
he has not pitched since April 27th.
And he's a minus 160 on the road? Yeah, no way. Their bullpen isn't good either. I don't trust their offense. Offensively, they haven't been good either. And the Brewers are a really good team at home, and offensively, I think they'll be able to get to Glasnow. I just think this is an awful spot for him. So based on pure value, I agree. I got to take the Brewers here at home.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, you have the Blue Jays taking on the White Sox. For this one, you have Lauer against Hauser. Pretty decent pitching matchup, actually. Lauer 4-1, 2.65 ERA. Hauser 4-2, 1.6 ERA. For the money line, you have Toronto minus 150. White Sox are plus 125, give or take. The over-under is at 8.5. I like the under. Not really going to overthink this one. I understand why this line is so big. It's because the White Sox stink. The Brewers are actually a good baseball team. So that's why I don't understand that line. But Toronto's won 9 in a row. They've been rolling. Once again, you're looking at 2 good pitchers here. It's Toronto or pass on the side. But give me the under. I trust Lauer. I trust Hauser. I see a low-scoring game. Give me Toronto 5-2.
Yeah, I don't mind the Blue Jays at this price, to be honest. Maybe one of those unit and a half plays like Mal says, but how can anyone fade the Blue Jays right now? They're the hottest team in baseball. They're doing it with pitching. Their defense has been good. Offensively, clutch hits as well. And Eric Lauer, to your point, he's been really good for the Blue Jays as well. He's yet to give up more than 3 runs on the road this season, and the Blue Jays have won his last 6 starts. So, and he's also, even if he doesn't do as good, which I don't think should happen against the White Sox, he's also backed up by a top 10 bullpen as well. The White Sox stink. I don't think offensively they'll be able to compete here against the Blue Jays. I get Adrian Hauser has been really good at home, but this might be a little revenge spot for Toronto. They did beat him last time, so I'm gonna take the Blue Jays here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, though, Mariners taking on the Yankees. Actually, did I accidentally mess up the order there?
Yeah, Phillies.
Yeah, sorry, Phillies, Giants, sorry. So the Phillies taking on the Giants. Let me just pull that up quickly here. So for that one, you have Luzardo against Verlander. Verlander still winless on the year, which is not fun. For the money line here, you have Philly minus 132. You have the Giants at plus 115. For the over-under, I see 8. Verlander's been quite bad so far this season. 0-6, 4.84 ERA. On the bright side, he had a kid a couple weeks ago, I think, so congratulations to him. Luzardo was great to start the season, been really bad recently. Last couple of starts, 2 innings, 6 runs, 5 earned. He pieced together a couple of decent starts in between, but he was great for the first month or two. Since then, it's been pretty downhill for him. I like the over in this game. I can't back Verlander. I think Philly should be a bigger favorite. I think 132 is short when Verlander's been a mess in that rotation for the entire season. But I do think this total feels kind of low at 8 because I don't really trust either pitcher. So give me the over in the game and give me the Phillies at what I think is a pretty cheap number.
Yeah, I agree with you on the Phillies side. I think our first disagreement, I'm going to take the under here at minus 112. I don't want to back either side, but I agree the Phillies, if I did have to pick a side, I would take them. Now, Justin Verlander, he hasn't been what people expected him to be. And, even though he's losing majority of his starts, the under has cashed in 6 straight home starts for him, all low scoring affairs. Giants also can't score either at home. They're only averaging around 4 runs per game at home. And as good as the Phillies offense has been this season, they're only averaging 3.98 runs per game on the road. So I just think this is a really good spot for the Phillies and for Jesus Luzardo. Maybe a little bounce back spot as well. The Giants stink against left-handed pitchers, so I don't expect them to win. I don't expect a lot of runs here either. So agree on the Phillies. I'm actually going to take the under, though.
All right. Once again, we'll see what happens, but I just don't trust Luzardo or Verlander enough to take an under in the game. Fair. So that's how I'm going to go about it. Moving on to the Rockies against the Red Sox, the surging Red Sox. Once again, sorry, I think I accidentally set up the order for the games tonight instead of the games tomorrow.
You're good.
So I'm kind of out of sorts here.
I think it's Mets.
It is Mets. So, yeah, Mets against the Orioles here. You have Peterson against Sagano. For the money line, I see Mets minus 155. The Orioles are plus 130. And for the over-under in this game, I do see it being set at 9.5. Now, the Mets have been pretty underwhelming lately, but they were able to win a series against the Yankees. Baltimore's been fine. They were below 500 early. They've kind of been treading water since, but they're still 9 games under. Sagano has been worse than Peterson. Peterson was in a bit of a slump, and then he was able to bounce out of it last start. 6 2/3, 1 earned against the Brewers. Do want to ask you, though, for this matchup, do you think 155 is a fair price with the Mets based on current form? Do you think the Yankees series got them back on track, or is it Baltimore for value?
I think it's Baltimore for value. I only made the Mets a minus 130 favorite, so I would not take the Mets here. It's another under for me, under 9.5. 9.5 seems a little high for a Mets game. I know bats kind of broke out in that Yankee series, but I only made my total 8.9. 2 solid pitchers, Peterson and Sagano. Peterson isn't the greatest on the road, but the Orioles have trouble hitting against left-handed pitching, so this might be a good spot for him to have a nice outing. And Sagano, he's one of those pitchers that's kind of up and down. He didn't have a good June, but the Mets aren't really the best offense on the road either. I don't trust either lineup. I think 9.5 is a bit high, so I'm going to go under as opposed to taking a side.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. 9.5 does feel kind of high with the Mets offense, which has been better against the Yankees, but damn, the Yankees can't pitch. But besides that, it's been pretty... I'm trying to think of the right way to describe the Mets offense recently because Lindor's been okay, I guess. Alonso heated up against the Yankees, but he's had a pretty, I'd say, interesting season where he got really hot, then really cold, and now he's kind of somewhere in the middle. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, very fair.
So with those two guys who have not been consistent, it is pretty risky to actually trust this offense consistently when you're relying on Nimmo, a bit of Beatty in there, you throw in occasionally Vientos, etc. It can be quite inconsistent backing this offense. So I don't mind the under with you, but I think I'll go with the Orioles for plus money as well at home.
Do you think quick, do you think Juan Soto should have been an all-star?
No.
Really?
I don't think so. No.
I mean,
do you?
Yeah, especially the last month that he had over Clayton Kershaw.
Well, okay, the Kershaw one I have to hold to a separate actual grading system because they borrowed that from the NBA when they did a legacy spot Kershaw didn't get in because of actual legitimacy. He got in because they wanted to give it to a veteran. My counterpoint is, why didn't Verlander also get a spot? I don't get it. If you're going to throw in legacy based on what they've done in the past, and it has nothing to do with the present, then why is Kershaw getting in and Verlander's not?
100%. I agree with that. Two things could be true. So I don't know. I think the way, yes, he started out very slow, and I think people were kind of wondering when he would come on a little bit. But last month, he was the player of the month. He's been really heating up, having clutch hits. I don't know. I think he deserved it, to be honest. Maybe not starter, but definitely a reserve.
I guess the counterpoint I'll make there is that the Mets have played 91 games. If Soto was really good for about 30 of them and was below average or average for the other, I'd say, majority of the season, is that good enough? I don't know.
I guess I'm biased, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He was elite for a month, but they've been playing baseball since April.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the fact is, people were pretty negative to Soto for the first 2-3 months because he wasn't living up to the contract.
Mm-hmm.
The contract actually works against him in the All-Star case because if you're supposed to be an inner circle elite hitter and you're underachieving for about 2/3 of the year, they're not going to put you in the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's kind of what happened to him, but you can argue based on spots. Do you think he was a bigger snub than Suzuki?
No, Suzuki that was the biggest snub of all. Him, Turner.
But my point is, for outfielders, I think Soto's behind Suzuki anyway.
100%.
So why should Soto be an all-star?
Why don't you think Suzuki got in?
I have no idea. He should clearly be an all-star. He's had a great year. But my point is, if Soto doesn't get in and he's playing the same position as Suzuki, and Suzuki got snubbed, then why should Soto be in?
Yeah, no, that's
Suzuki's ahead of him in line.
Yeah, I get that.
So I think Soto should not have been. I think Suzuki should have been.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at for the All-Star thing. They might get in with reserves anyway. See some last-minute dropouts. Some people don't want to be there. We'll see what happens, but I think you can make a serious argument Suzuki should have been in over Soto and over one of the current outfielders that are an All-Star.
That's fair.
So that's my stance. So there you go. Anyway, before we get into the remainder of the card, a reminder they're brought to you by our sponsor, which is Circa Millions and Circa Survivor, because they're still hosting the contest at Circa, $21 million in guaranteed prizes. There's no rake as well, so the entries go above the guarantee. All the extra money will go to the prize pool. Circa Millions pick 5 teams ATS each week, or go for the ultimate sweat in Circa Survivor. Also a Circa Grandissimo, a $100K Circa Survivor entry fee. So once again, you can enter the high roller Circa Survivor contest if you want to. Let's register in person at Circa Sportsbook in Nevada. And also a reminder, you can always sign up in Vegas and play from anywhere with help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com, use code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. The bookie that AG plays bet on your sport. They have the baseball cards, they have WNBA, they have Wimbledon, they have golf, they have football futures, etc. You'd always use it a ton of occasions. Use crypto, press payouts, use deposits, sign up there for an account, use code SGPN to get a 100% match up to 1K. Terms and conditions my BookieG promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going with the first couple games on the card for Wednesday. Time to move on into the next game. Moving on to the Mariners taking on the Yankees. For this one, you have Evans against Schlitter. Schlitter, I don't know, brand new guy. Evans was pretty up and down. He was demoted at a point, got called up, and was very good in his last start. But for the money line, Yankees minus 150 after winning the finale against the Mets. Not a great series, though, as a whole. And for the Mariners, they've been fine, faced off against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh didn't score a run in the entire series. They swept that one, but they're plus 125. For the over-under, I do see the line being set at about 9. Now, Schlitter is a complete unknown. He's never pitched in the majors before. So you don't really know what to expect from the guy because we saw Schmidt get seriously injured. He's out for the year with Tommy John. So the Yankees' rotation is still in shambles. Heel's not back yet. Cole's out for the year. A lot of missing pieces in that rotation. Why are the Yankees minus 150 with an unknown pitcher?
I have no idea. My first question to you that I wrote down is, what do you know about this guy, Scott?
He's a really, really tall pitcher. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
So maybe if he has himself a nasty slider, he can get a decent whiff rate. But as a whole, I don't know much about the kid. I'll look up his actual numbers in the minors this season. I believe they're fine. 6-6, 2.82 ERA. So he's been fine. But there's no sample at all with this guy. Evans has been up and down. He was good last outing. Yankees offense woke up a bit. The bullpen's been a mess. And if you're looking at a brand new pitcher who probably goes 5, and then you're going to hand it over to the bad bullpen in the last couple innings, good luck with that. I'll take the Mariners plus money.
Yeah, that's exactly where I am. I don't know if I could trust this bullpen right now. They're not good. Bottom 5 in the American League. They haven't looked good for the past week or so. And Seattle is a good road team. Offensively, defensively, pitching-wise, I think Logan Evans has been fine as well. They have the better team right now, and I think they're playing better baseball. So plus 125, I think that's a steal. I think for pure value, I think you have to take the Mariners here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, though, you have the Rockies taking on the Red Sox. Sanzatella going up against Giolito. Yes, Sanzatella and Fenway. What can possibly go wrong? Red Sox are minus 290. You have the Rockies plus 235. The over-under is set at around 9 flat. And for the run line, the Red Sox minus 1.5 is minus 125. Colorado plus 1.5 is plus 105. Red Sox have been rolling. The offense has been great. Sanzatella stinks. The Rockies can't hit on the road, and the Red Sox once again have turned it around. Give me Boston minus 1.5.
Yeah, this might be short. Give me the over 9. My total came out to 9.9. Antonio Sanzatella's pitching. Do I need to say more? He stinks. He's given up 4+ runs in 5 of his last 6, and the Red Sox offensively have been on fire. 5.33 runs per game they're averaging at home this season. They just put up 36 runs in the llast 4 games. The over's 5-0 in the Sox last 5 games. And Rockies, they've been in a lot of high-scoring matchups as well. They've been over this number in 4 of their last 5. So, yeah, I get it. Red Sox minus 1.5, but over. I love the over here.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. I think that once again for the over, a lot of their high-scoring games don't involve the Rockies' offense. That involves the other team scoring a bunch of runs. So I don't mind Boston teeing off. Moving on to the next game, you have the Marlins taking on the Reds. For this one, you have Alcantara against Abbott. For this one, you have the money line set for the Reds at minus 120. You have the Marlins at plus 105, give or take. For the over-under, I see 9. Now, Abbott was another guy who I believe was not listed on the All-Star rosters, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so that was another controversial opinion. He did not put his best foot forward entering that vote because he went 3 1/3, 9 hits, 4 runs in his last start against Philly. They won the game, though, and he was amazing for the last couple starts before that. Alcantara's been pretty underwhelming most of the year, had a decent stretch mid-season, then he kind of blew up again as he gave up 12 runs in his last 2 starts, along with 15 hits. His ERA on the road this season is 9.95. I'm not backing Miami. That's not an option for me. Give me the Reds at minus 120.
Yeah, I got to take the Reds here too, minus 140. I feel like this is a short price with Abbott. My numbers made him a minus 180 favorite. He's been so good for the Reds at home or on the road. I know they've lost 3 in a row right now, but with their ace on the mound, I think this is a nice get right spot for them to get back into the win column. The Fish aren't good against left-handed pitchers, and with Abbott being one of the best in the game right now, outside of Turk Skubal and Garrett Crochet, I find them really struggling to score some runs. And we don't even need to speak how bad Sandy Alcantara has been. So gonna fade him, fade the Fish on the road. I'll take the short price here with the Reds.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, Cubs taking on the Twins. Minus 110 both sides. You have Horton against Festa. For the over-under in this game, I see the line being set at around 9. Festa, I mean, how would you describe Festa? Because I feel like he's either really good or absolutely terrible, and there's no way in between. 2-3, 5.48 ERA. Been better at home, though. He's been up and down once again. In 2 of the last 3 starts, he's given up at least 4 runs. At the start in between, though, 5 2/3, no runs. So you're basically looking at a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get with him. As for the other option here, the Cubs are a better team. Horton has been better than Festa. Minnesota's been better at home, though. Horton, though, has been pretty bad on the road. A 6.08 ERA. Great last outing, though. 7 innings, no runs against the Guardians. I guess I'm on the Cubs. No chance I bet this game. This minus 110 feels very, very accurate to me. I think this is definitely the right pricing. And for a total of 9, I think that's accurate, too. So I'm just completely stuck. Give me the Cubs because I think that they're better than Minnesota, but I'm not betting this game.
Yeah, I can't believe the Cubs are the underdogs in this spot. My numbers actually made them a minus 140 favorite. Maybe that's a little egregious.
But they're not the dogs. They're minus 130.
Minus 130. Cubs?
Yeah.
Maybe am I? Hold up.
I saw minus 110 on ESPN bet, but I actually do see most books have moved now to minus 130.
Okay, yeah. I saw earlier that they were minus 104. Am I going crazy? All right, so
They might have been. It might have moved.
Yeah, so on FanDuel it's minus 104.
Okay.
And yeah, so anyway, it doesn't matter. I think my numbers, they made them a minus 140. Twins are still on my do not bet list, so I'm not betting them. And David Fiesta, you mentioned it. He's been terrible. I think you asked one word. It's terrible for the Twins. Cade Horton's not much better, but I don't think he's been all that bad on the road. I think he's had legit just one poor start against the Astros. Outside of that, I think he's been okay. I think the main difference is how good this offense for the Cubbies compared to Minnesota. The Cubs are hitting 268 on the road. They're averaging the most runs in the league on the road. I have to take the Cubs. Even if Cade Horton isn't that good, I think offensively they're going to be better than the Twins. So, yeah, give me the Cubs minus 104.
Yeah, I can get behind that at that price. I do feel like it's a coin flip game. So if you want to go for the plus money, I don't hate it. But the Cubs being a dog does feel pretty tempting for that price. Moving on to the next game, you have the Pirates taking on the Royals. For this one, you have Falter against Bubic. Royals minus 190, Pirates are plus 160. Bubic has been great this season, a 7-6, 2.36 ERA. Falter 6-4, 3.69 ERA. Over-under set at 8 or 8.5. Now, Bubic said before the numbers have been very good. Last couple outings, he has been a bit more vulnerable, but still pretty good. So keep that in mind. For Falter, though, looking at his numbers recently, I'm just pulling this up. Sorry, not been good on the road. He has given up at least 3 earned in 3 of the last 4. I'm actually going to go with Royals minus 1.5 here. The Pirates, we know, are a team that's normally bad. They had a decent stretch against the Mets, and there was one other team where offensively they went crazy. They've gone back to being terrible. They scored no runs the entire series against Seattle over the weekend. They got killed in the opener against Kansas City. I'll go with Kansas City at home. Give me the Royals minus 1.5.
I got burned on that under a Monday night when we
because Heaney was useless and he got killed.
Terrible. I'm going right back to it. I think the Royals are a little bit too big of a favorite. I only made the Royals a minus 150 favorite. Minus 190 seems a little high. But I made my total 7.2. Chris Bubic has been good for the Royals, and the under is 5-3 in his 8 home starts this season. I just think this is a bad spot for the Pirates. They stink against lefties. They're only hitting 218 against them on the year. And Billy Falter hasn't been terrible either. And the Royals, they're only averaging 2.98 runs per game at home this season. Wins are blowing in Kansas City as well. So going to take the under. If you could get plus money, I don't know if you see plus money, but on the run line, if you could get it, I agree with the run line play. But I'm going to go under 8.5.
I can get behind that too, but I think I'd rather just back Bubic to dominate, and I'll take my chances with Falter getting into trouble at some point. Yeah. So I'll go with Kansas City minus 1.5. Moving on to the next game, you have the Nationals taking on the Cardinals. For this game, you have Gore against Palante. Gore's in Mitch Keller territory, 3.11 ERA, 3-8 record. So no run support at all. Palante 5-4, 4.1 ERA. For the actual money line here, I see the Cardinals minus 220. Gore in the Nationals plus 180. For the over-under in this game, I see 8.5. Gore mentioned in the actual recent performances, it has been fine. In fact, he had one bad start against the Dodgers. Makes sense. Besides that, he's given up 2 or less in a lot of starts. He's been really good. For Palante, pitches to contact. He's been a bit better lately, but he can still blow up at any time. However, he has allowed less than 3 earned in 3 straight. He's allowed 2 earned in his last 3 starts combined. So for this one, I think 8.5 feels kind of high, actually. I don't mind the under. But conceptually, how are the Cardinals minus 220? I get that they're the home team. They're very good at home. I understand that. Gore is, objectively speaking, a more talented pitcher than Palante, and I'm getting plus 180. Nationals first 5, Nationals money line, 220. This price just feels wrong to me. St. Louis should be, in my opinion, minus 150. 220 is insane. Give me the Nationals.
Wait, where are you seeing these numbers, Scott?
I have a database up that says 220.
Yeah, so I see minus 115 Cardinals, plus 100 for the Nationals.
Okay, so is this database just malfunctioning on me?
Yeah, because those are 2 in a row that I'm like, wait, minus 220 is
okay.
crazy.
Okay, let me try a different database here. I've been using a database because it has all the lines by comparison. Let me see what I can get here, because 220 is insane. That's insane. Definitely a misfunction here, or a dysfunction. A malfunction, I mean. Yeah, okay, so I see minus 115. That looks right.
Yes.
Based on where it should be. Okay, so now I'll switch databases. Minus 115 for the Cardinals, plus 100 for the Nationals. Total still 8.5.
Yeah.
Give me the under. I'll take a spin with Washington first 5.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cardinals. Small lean, but like your Cubs play, probably a game I won't bet. I made the Cardinals a minus 125 favorite. This should be a close game with Gore on the bump. But this team is in shambles now. Literally, I think 10 minutes after we were done recording on Sunday, they fired the GM. They fired the coach. This team won a World Series in 2019. A week before the draft, they're cleaning house. They're going to sell the team. I mean, at this point, Gore's good, but he does struggle sometimes on the road. The Nationals have lost his last 3 road starts, and I just think this might be another bad spot for him. You got to imagine, I know the Cardinals not playing well right now, but you got to imagine them being able to turn this around. They are hitting 265 at home. Maybe when Gore leaves the game, he'll probably pitch well, but I don't trust his bullpen. So I do like your first 5 angle. This bullpen's terrible, and I think maybe the Cardinals get into that bullpen. So I'm going to take the Cardinals with this short price.
Yeah. I do think, once again, the Cardinals make sense at home, but I'll take a spin first 5. Maybe they blow the game.
Yeah.
But Palante pitches to contact, and this Nationals team, they can be quite dangerous if you leave a couple of pitches over the middle of the plate. So I'll go with that as my thought there. Moving on to the Guardians taking on the Astros. For this one, for the adjusted line with the new database, I see minus 140 on Houston, plus 125 for Cleveland. The over-under is set at around 8. For the pitching matchup for this game, I see Walter against Ciccone. So once again, Astros favorite makes sense. Totals make sense too, with Cleveland not being able to hit. The thing is, I want to consider the under, but I don't really trust Ciccone in Houston. And I think that Walter could also struggle in this game too. Do I want to I don't want to go with the team total over Cleveland because they can't hit. Maybe Houston to just get the Ciccone. Do I want to go first 5 team total? Maybe Houston team total first 5, but I don't really have a strong opinion. The line feels kind of right. I don't want to lay 140 with Houston.
Yeah, surprising. I'm going to take a total here. Give me the over 7.5 at minus 120. My total came out to 8.8. Brandon Walter has been solid for the Astros, but his last 3 starts have kind of been up and down. He's another one of those guys that's kind of been up and down. All 3 of those games went over this total, and Slate Ciccone, he's been great on the road, but the way the Astros have been hitting, I agree. Maybe a team total. I think the Astros are going to be able to get to Ciccone in this spot. I think they'll be able to muster up a few runs. Guardians, surprisingly, they were able to score some runs in the first game thanks to Jose Ramirez. But the over is 4-1 in the Astros' last 5 as well. So I'm going to take it. 7.5 seems very, very low. So I'll take the over.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that too, because I do think that both pitchers can struggle, and they both look pretty good in the first game of the series. So maybe you end up getting a decent game there where both teams get to 4. You can automatically get there, and that could be the option for the game. Moving on to the next game, you have the Rangers taking on the Angels. For this one, I see, let me just quickly see what price I have here. I see Angels plus 110, Rangers minus 126 on the road. The over-under set at 9. For the pitching matchup, I do see Rocker against Hendricks. I don't trust either pitcher in this game. Hendricks at home has been pretty good, though. He has been better recently. He's allowed less than 4 earned in 5 straight, actually. So Hendricks has kind of turned a corner to some degree. And you're looking at Rocker, who was really bad to start the season, bad on the road, 9.41 ERA. He's also been good. He's allowed less than 3 earned in 4 straight. Do I want to lay with Texas on the road? No. Do I think both pitchers can actually go decently in this game? Sure. I don't mind the under in this game. I think this total's kind of high.
Yeah, I'm going to take I think the wrong team is favored. I'm going to take the Angels here, minus 110. I made them a minus 115 favorite. There's no way the Rangers should be this big of a favorite with Kumar Rocker. He's been terrible on the road. He's given up 2+ runs on the road in all 6 road starts. Walks are an issue. Home run, he gives up the deep ball. And plus, the Rangers can't score on the road either. This is an awful spot for him. You mentioned it. Hendricks has kind of turned a corner. He looks kind of serviceable at home for the Halos. And Angels are 3-1 straight up in his last 4 home starts. So they are winning some games for him. Plus 110, I got to take the home dog here.
Yep, I can get behind that too. Texas on the road. You never want to take Texas on the road, just based on the pricing. So there you go. Moving on to the next game, Diamondbacks taking on the Padres. Fods against Cease. You have the Padres at minus 135. You have the Diamondbacks at plus 115. For the over-under in this game, I see 8. Now, Fodd's had a pretty interesting season. He was very good to start the year. Then he kind of hit a wall and has not been going well for him recently. He's allowed 4 earned in 2 of the last 3. Diamondbacks have actually lost 4 straight starts that he's made. For Cease, it's well documented. I'm not a fan. He has been pretty good at home this season, though. 2.76 ERA. Last 2 starts, 8 runs allowed. He's allowed at least 3 earned in 3 of the last 4 starts. I like the over. I see a 7.5 available. That's too short. Give me the over.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Give me the over 7.5 at -110. Shop around. I see on Caesars and other books you could get 7.5 at -115. My total came out to 8.5. I feel like 7.5 is extremely low for an Arizona game. Dylan Cease, yeah, he's good at home, but he's just one of those guys that's up and down for me, up and down this season, and I just can't confidently back him right now. Meanwhile, Brandon Pfaadt, he's been terrible for Arizona for the past, 2 months. Over 6-1 in Brandon's last 7 starts as well. Gives up a ton of hard contact, and he's backed up by a bottom 5 bullpen as well. The total is too low, so I think we get there very early. Over 7.5 here.
Yep. Moving on to the next game, final game, you have the Braves taking on the A's. For this game, for the matchup here, you have Elder against Spence. The A's are +115. Braves are -135. And for the over-under in this game, I see about 10.5. Now, Spence has actually been okay. A 4.06 ERA. Like every A's pitcher, worse at home. Last 3 starts, he has allowed a total of 11 runs. Elder, though, stinks. He's not any good. A 5.92 ERA, 2-6 record. And for the actual recent performances, he's allowed at least 4 earned in 4 straight. He's allowed 6 home runs in his last 3 starts, and he's also walked 7 batters in his last 2 starts. He's terrible. Why are the Braves favored in this game? I understand both pitchers aren't that great, but Spence is definitely better than Elder. Give me the A's and give me the over as well. I see runs. I see Elder getting destroyed. Give me the A's in this one.
Serious question. Who's still backing the Braves at this point?
It's not me.
Not me either.
Acuna's been terrible lately, too.
And he made the All-Star game.
That's the one I don't understand.
Don't get me started.
I want to actually see Acuna's numbers this season, because at first glance, I don't know how he's an All-Star. Let me just see where he's at this season.
You're good.
Oh, actually, no, he's batting .331 still. He only played 40 games. He's an All-Star and he's missed more than half the season. Yeah. That's just not right. No, that's completely wrong. He should not be an All-Star. There should be a rule you have to play at least half the games of the first half of the season. You have to play the majority of games in the first half to be a legitimate All-Star. Playing 40 games out of 91, give or take, you should not be an All-Star.
Do we take the fan vote out of it at this point?
See, I don't know how much the fan vote counts, because I mentioned before in the NBA vote, it doesn't matter that much because LaMelo led all fan votes and did not make the team. So I don't know what the percentage breakdown is, but if you play 89 games and your best player plays 40 of them, you should not be an All-Star missing more than half the games. Yeah. That should not be a hot take either.
No, it shouldn't. But
so I think Suzuki should have taken his place.
Yeah, I agree.
I get Acuna when playing is a great player, and he's easily worthy of being an All-Star. But you're going to punish guys that play every day? I feel like that just doesn't make any sense.
That's what's happening, though.
Yeah, correct. Acuna's been great, but if you miss a month or two, I'm not going to reward you and give you an All-Star game spot. So
I think they're giving it to him just because it's in Atlanta.
That's probably why they're giving it to him, yeah. But that calls Suzuki to get hosed.
Yeah, 100%. All right, let's end it with another total. I agree. No one's backing the Braves at this point. Over 10.5 at even money, I'll take. My total came out to 10.9. Nothing. I don't want to back either side, but the over has been profitable in Sacramento. 25-19 towards the over. Bryce Elder stinks. He's given up 4+ runs in 4 straight starts. And the A's can actually hit at home. They're hitting around 261 in Sacramento this year. I'm not a big believer in Mitch Spence either. He hasn't been good at home all year, starting the game or coming out of the pen.
I believe in him more than Elder.
That's not saying much, though.
Yeah, it's not saying much, but that still counts.
I agree. This game screams run, so gonna be a hot night in California. I think the ball should travel. I'm gonna take the over here.
All right, moving on to the ad read, because we are done covering all the games on the Wednesday card. We're brought to you by Nordic Fantasy, because we're doing Decibel Mania, happening all summer long. You win $15 million in prizes, including $2 million for first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best ball is the best way to play fantasy football. And remind you, you can also use Underdog for Pick'em. When you sign up, though, for your new account, use the code MLB SGPN. You get a special pick-in for time with an offer up to $1K in bonus cash. On fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, because they have powered trends now, where they add to the patterns. Rhythm bundles consistently win. They have a high ROI, and they also will update the powered trends every day. They're only available on Rhythm. You can also use it for clean data back picks. Download the Rhythm app, check out powered trends, start betting smarter, and also you get a free week trial by going to the link sportsgamblingpodcast.com Rhythm to get your 7-day free trial. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through all the games on the card for Wednesday. Time to move on into the lock and dog picks. Dylan, what do you got as your lock and dog picks for the show?
All right, we'll head back to Fenway. I'm going to take the over 9 at minus 115. I feel like this total with Antonio Senzatella is extremely low. He stinks, and the Red Sox are red hot right now hitting the ball. So I'm going to take the over 9 as my lock. I think we see a lot of runs in that game. It was either between that or the Padres and D-backs over. I think that's a very good second choice if you don't like the Red Sox and Rockies total. So going to take that over. And then for my dog, I'm going to take the Angels. I think the wrong team is favored. I cannot trust Kumar Rocker on the road, or the Rangers in general for that matter. Kumar Rocker should not be this big of a favorite on the road. I don't care if it's against the Rockies. He should not be this big of a favorite. He stinks. And I think Kyle Hendricks has been serviceable at home. So Angels are the better team. It's kind of a coin flip game. At plus money, I'm going to take the home dog. I'll take Angels as my dog.
Yeah, looking at my lock for the show. Sorry, just checking out the weather really quickly. All right, so for the lock, not going to overthink it. Give me Boston on minus 1.5. I get to fade the Rockies on the road. Sweet. I get a good offense against Senzatella at a bettable price of about minus 125. Hell yeah, I'll take that. Give me Boston minus 1.5, minus 125 as my lock. For my dog, give me a total. I do like how Lauer's been pitching, and I like how, once again, Hauser's been all year. It's a pretty high total. I think this total should be lower. I think that you're looking at 8.5, minus 105. I see minus 102 even on BetMGM. Give me the under at 8.5. You're looking at the wind blowing in from right to left. I see a lot of ground balls, of course, with, once again, Hauser pitching. White Sox can hit. Toronto's been pitching well. Give me the under as my lock. Sorry, and I can't do that because I just took the Red Sox as my run line. I've completely just butchered that entirely. I was gonna go. I did 2 locks accidentally instead of an actual dog. Did I want to go for Boston on the alt line or an alt total actually for this White Sox game? Sorry, I just realized as I was doing it that made absolutely no sense what I was doing. Actually, wait a second. No, I see plus 105.
Yeah,
for the
you're
total.
good.
It worked out. Okay, there we go. So ESPN bet went rogue and has the under 8.5 at plus 105. That's why I got confused. I forgot to mention that line. So once again, for my lock, give me Boston minus 1.5, minus 25. For the dog, give me the under 8.5 in that Blue Jays game at plus 105. That's going to wrap it up for our picks for the show. Dylan, anything else you want to add?
No, I just think Nathan makes a great point. You can't trust any man named Kumar. So.
You kind of carried those movies, to be honest.
Yeah. Great movie.
You really
I've seen that movie. I've seen that movie, but I haven't seen.
Well, you say that movie, they made like 4 of them.
Just the first one.
Okay, 2 is Guantanamo Bay. That's a pretty good one too. The Christmas one was the 3rd one, I think. And I don't know if they made an animated one or something, but they're not bad. Guantanamo is a classic, but White Castle, of course, is the legendary one.
You like White Castle?
I never had it.
Wow. So there's one like 2 miles from my house, and I had it one night, stoned.
Are you a fan of like the small patties? Because I feel like if I was going to get a burger, I'd want the big burger.
Yes, but there was like a deal going on. It was like midnight at night, and we got like a box of 24, and they were like,
that's the trade-off is you get 17 of the small sliders instead of getting one big one. You're just eating the small sliders.
They were the small sliders, and they were okay. I housed a lot of them just because I was fried, but it was okay. I agree. I'm a big burger kind of guy if I'm going to get a burger, but they weren't bad. I mean, anything's good when you're high.
There you go.
There you go.
I wonder how much White Castle had to sponsor the movie being made, because I imagine it did a ton for their sales.
Oh, yeah. That's why they're in business, because of that movie.
It wouldn't surprise me. It became like one of the official fast food destinations for I'd say stoners.
Yeah.
I'd have to imagine it did.
Yeah, it definitely did.
They cornered the market on stoners back in like the early 2000s.
Yeah, they were ahead of their time.
It's a solid movie, but either way, point is, I think the second one's okay too.
Right.
So there you go.
You gotta watch it.
Didn't Kumar work for the White House at one point?
You're asking the wrong guy. I think
he's a legitimate doctor. I think that he's. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he worked for the White House.
Interesting.
Unrelated, I think he's also gay. Wow. Unrelated. I think he's also gay. I don't think I made that up. I'm pretty sure he's gay.
Hey, I don't judge.
I don't judge either. I just fun fact. I just don't think anyone knew that.
Are you fact checking yourself?
I actually am. I'm looking up White House first. Yes, he was a White House member in the Obama administration.
Wow, shout out Obama.
Kumar gay. Yes,
he was gay.
Yes, 2021. Wow. Kal Penn came out as gay. Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm right. Yeah,
2 for 2 to end the show.
I apologize for nothing. You shouldn't have doubted me.
Let's go.
He was a gay guy that worked in the White House, and he also really, really liked White Castle.
During the Obama administration. Makes sense.
Yes, he did. And he was also one of the doctors on the show House. Fun fact. But anyway.
You're full of them today.
Yeah. That's just the facts that I know about this guy. So there you go. Sounds random, but it's so every now and then you'll pull out a fact that's so random that it has to be true.
It reminds me of fucking Jeopardy. I don't think those people are smart. They just know a bunch of random fucking facts.
You ever try to watch Jeopardy recently?
Hard as shit.
I'll try 2 questions. I won't even get close. I'll change the channel. How do people enjoy that show?
They're psychos.
But either you know the impossible answers or you're sitting there guessing, feeling like an idiot, waiting for the experts to answer the question. What's the enjoyment factor of the show? There's nothing there.
You get 1 or 2 right during the whole 30 minutes of the show.
Yeah, you watch a full collection of, 30 questions per round? What is it, 6 categories or 5 categories per round?
5.
So there's 25 questions per round. You're swinging for getting maybe 3 right.
I only know the history. I like history. History movies. I don't even think of movies that good.
Hey, you stare at the categories and you go sports, sports. And it goes 18th century literature and you go, damn it. And then you change the channel.
Yeah.
That's it.
I fucking love it.
You just go for the question and it's all right, give me this Native American artifacts. And you're like, well, this is going to suck. I got no chance.
And then Final Jeopardy is the hardest thing ever.
Correct. And you just have to guess keywords.
And then some of these guys are like, yeah, I'm a 35-day streak champion. The fuck?
Well, that guy's hosting now. It's Ken Jennings.
Yeah. No, he's the
best. And you had Jeopardy James, who was around for a while.
Yeah.
Who's an inspiration because he invented ways to actually use math to gamble around the board.
Imagine if Aaron Rodgers was the host. That would have been crazy.
The truth is, I didn't watch much of Jeopardy when he was hosting anyway. But that's the type of category you'd end up getting if you were watching whatever. It's what do you want to go for the Final Jeopardy? You're hoping it's sports. You're hoping it's history. You're hoping it's something. And it's no, can I interest you in peyote? It's that's the final Jeopardy question. You're what am I supposed to do with this? I got nothing. It's a waste.
Yeah.
I believe my aunt was actually on Jeopardy back in the 1990s.
My sister tried out, there's tryouts, and she got to the second round, and then there were so many smarter girls, and she was fuck it, she just gave up.
The fun fact about, or I should say the sad fact about me with Jeopardy, I actually qualified for Sports Jeopardy, which was a show on NBC Sports about 5-10 years ago. I qualified. I passed the exam. I was going to be on the show, and the show got canceled.
That's fucked.
So I was actually going to be on Sports Jeopardy, and the show got canceled. So
how good do you think you would have done?
Truth is, a lot of the Jeopardies, how fast do you buzz in?
Oh, it's just...
Yeah, correct. And when you think about it, you have a lot of experts on the show. If you buzz in fast, then you're probably in a massive advantage.
Yeah.
So I would say for the average Sports Jeopardy round, I would get 75 to 80 right.
Okay. That's
percentage-wise.
Are they coming back with this show?
No, it folded. Oh. It went from NBC Sports to Crackle, which was their streaming service. Then it went off the table.
Yeah.
It was just gone. But Dan Patrick hosted for a bit. I remember the max winnings per episode, though, was 5K. You couldn't win more than 5K, but you got invited back on each episode.
Hey, you add them up, 5K, could have put that on a parlay.
Correct. The point is that I could have potentially made millions if I won 10,000 episodes in a row. But we'll never know. I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know.
I know you got a show to go on in a second, so we'll wrap it up. Find me on Twitter, Reichel Radio. Find him on Twitter with a rock with 2Ks24. Till next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.